Greetings, class. For chapter number 11, let us talk about color, but let us also talk about it in the context of making a navigation menu that is motivated by cascading style sheet CSS. Let's get right to it. Let me share my screen. Throughout these videos, our code has been evolving and it's becoming a website. Individual web pages make for a larger website. We've had to revisit some pages that we made before because websites are iterative processes. They are repeated. We go back, we make modifications. In this instance, I want to start making this navigation menu more so a drop-down menu. Now, the source that I'm using in order to implement my menu is as follows: the W3 Schools website. We link to that website in this course, but these folks are wonderful. They give us an example of how to turn a regular unordered list into a working drop-down menu right here on this side, or a menu that is more interactive, I should say. You can have some drop-down elements to it as well. But you see, as I mouse over, I get home and I get a colorful menu. I get a darker background when I'm ready to mouse over that particular element. Contact, about us, all these are linkable items that become part of a regular unordered list. The unordered list uses style elements to make sure that it renders rather than as a bulleted list, but as a menu. It's the cool miracle of computing that's happening behind the scenes. In our code, we have our index page where we've been doing a lot of our work. In the previous video, I mentioned that we're going to turn this ID equals menu into a working sort of drop-down process, or a working sort of interactive menu that is colorful. So in that, let's see about how we can convert this over, see if we can make it look pretty good. Remember that we have that style.css, okay? In the W3 Schools code, any unordered lists, unfortunately, even those who we don't want to become menus, would render as menus. I'm going to teach you a technique using the power of the ID here to make sure that we only modify menus that have the ID equal to menu, or maybe class equal to menu. And so I'm going to take the code and it's going to look a little bit different than what we've seen here. First thing I'm going to do is I'd rather have the menu in more than one spot. So if it's going to be unique, then you'd make it an ID. But if you might have that menu on there more than once, we're going to make it a class. The important thing to remember is that a class is indicated by a period in the cascading style sheets lingo, in the language. It would be a pound sign, number sign in lieu of a dot if I were to do this in terms of ID like I had it. So in my brain, I will say unordered list. If it has the class menu, follow this style per the W3C. This is a different color. I think I'm going to go with a different color than what we saw in the example from W3 Schools. But if it's a list item that belongs to the menu class, do this. Otherwise, ignore it. This is so vital because we don't want all of our menus to be changing on us. We don't want all our menus to, or turn in, I know the list to turn into menus. Only those that have the class, here it is, that have the class equal to menu. That's the instruction that I'm given in the modification that I've done to the W3 Schools code. So having done that and having looked at our source here in the code, I now need to place all of this cascading style sheet code into our styles.css. Let's go find it. Style.css. In addition to the body, I'm now extending this to say, per the W3 Schools website, I want to have an unordered list. Anything that has the dot class menu, ul.menu, apply this style. Anything that has the ul menu that is a list item, float it left. Anything that's a list item that has a link, an anchor tag within it, block it out this way. If I mouse over and hover, make that text black, just like that. These are some other elements that I'm going to do. I'm having a little bit of fun with some drop downs as well. But this is an added element to our previous just standard body with a background color that was black and text that was yellow. We're working through the process of adding that menu. Through the miracle of computing, let's see if our menu and colors are manifest. Aha. So you see how this particular process had a standard menu we were working with that was paragraph based, but now I have this little kind of much more interactive menu. That's how it used to look, but look through the miracle and power of computing that we have a much more strategically interactive mouse over effect menu. And I want to show y'all that cascading style sheet code again to let you know it was smart enough to know because I have an unordered list that is a menu class. Only then and only then do we apply the drop down element. So only this unordered list here is being applied. I want to prove something to you. If I take that menu and I duplicate that menu, kind of replace our standard little paragraph guy down here, and I take off that class equal menu, the ultimate test of our process here, is this going to be a standard bulleted list versus the menu at the top? Okay, that's what I'm really seeking to test here at this particular point. Come over. Well, it's fighting with us a bit. Fighting with us a bit because it said all unordered lists are applying in that sense. All unordered lists are being applied to that particular standard. So what do we do to fix that? UL refresh. Some ordered lists, we do want to have that. Others, we don't. Have a little bit of fun and modify this as an ID equal menu. See if that changes the cascading style sheet a bit. ULs that have the ID menu, not the class menu. All right, let's see what that does. And I think I see another item that may be of concern. Let's go back actually to the code implementation and look at that. Let's go back to this. I need to be more explicit down here. UL dot list items, UL dot menu. UL dot menu. Sometimes we have to fight through it. It's okay to see me kind of working through this. We'll get to those when we're doing more of our drop-down code. Okay. And the reason that they all rendered as bulleted lists here is I have to go back and modify this to now say class again. And there we are. So I really want y'all to see me working through that to let you know that it's not always a standard, easy process to fix these things. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of just stick-to-itiveness. You take chances, you make mistakes, you get messy. But I have indeed achieved what I was seeking to do. I have a menu, an auto list that only renders if it is of class menu. This item right here is a standard bulleted list. I don't want it. I don't want it to turn into a menu. So I needed to make an exception to the rule. So study that code very carefully. Study it. Note that the value of class equals menu plays an important role. You must doubly reinforce these concepts when you are in the cascading style sheets. By saying dot menu, I was much more explicit. I was telling the cascading style sheet rules that only applied to ULs that relate to ULs that have the class menu. The moment that I didn't designate a menu being that of the class itself, it will be ignored in terms of just rendering as HTML intended it to be. So that's a beautiful lesson that we've had here today in taking chances and making mistakes. And I want you to see that even as an experienced web development professional, I don't always get this right the first time. The beauty of this is being able to troubleshoot, figure it out, and make it happen. So now I'll show this again on screen so that when you're troubleshooting, you have a nice example of this code yourself. You can pause the video, work on it. In particular, when you do your assignment number 4, you're going to have a great lesson to empower you to finish strong, work strong, make an unordered list that represents a menu for your wonderfully and beautifully evolving website. I thank you for your kind time and attention. We'll pick up things in the next chapter. Dr. T, signing out for now. Keep up the excellent work, and I'm very, very proud of you.